All right, welcome everybody. First podcast of the off season. It was an awesome season. Ricky Buck's here. Beast is with me, and we got all the numbers and everything that happened this year. We're gonna go over and review it all. First things first. All the numbers are in. All the deer killed. It was a crazy good year. 238,000 deer. I think it was up 25,000 deer over the state this year compared to last year, and I think that one of the highest since one of the highest since 2000 and
2010 and 11.
2010. So 15 years. It was the best year.
This was number 4 on record, I believe.
Yeah.
The way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, and it was like almost tied. So like the fourth best year ever, which I'll be honest, when the season started, EHD was bad. You know, a lot of counties and like tons of it. For some reason, I just thought that would have a bigger effect and maybe keep it down, the total harvest, but apparently not.
I think as usual, that's so localized. The people that got hit think it's devastating. In a township over, there's nothing.
You're right. Yeah. So their farm, it might be devastating, but if they're even if they shoot one, that person still might probably shoot one deer a year and they still probably shot a deer. So
Yeah.
the harvest rates.
I mean, look what we saw. You got almost a couple valleys or hollers that are totally different from a half mile away or a mile away. You're not seeing nearly what we found.
Yeah. Honestly, too, I think the weather was awesome this year. Like in the big, like gun season was up. So from last year, there was 25,000 more deer killed than last year. Was actually a pretty good year too. So there was 25,000 more deer killed this year than last year. Gun season, 19,000 of that 25,000 increase was in gun season.
Well, that makes sense.
So that was a huge, but I mean, gun season was perfect this year. Remember, it was freezing cold.
Opening day does not get any better than what it was.
No, it was freezing. We were down at the
Opening day
Fig,
alone.
remember?
Yeah, that could
It was
be
freezing.
weather like that on opening day. That could be 10,000 deer just on that one day.
Yeah. Yeah, so 19,000 of the 25 came in gun. And I think, the weather, the whole week was cold. I don't remember much rain. It was a really good week. Another 6 was in bow, which bow season I thought there was some good. It started, I think, if I remember right, I think it started maybe not that good, but then the rut was good, I think.
Yeah.
And then I was looking, youth season was like identical. Muzzleloader was like 500 or 700 more, which I thought because I thought muzzleloader was really good with all the snow too, but
Yeah.
I can't remember the year before.
I think some of the places probably almost got too much snow. Probably made it hard for some guys. Monday and
Right.
Tuesday.
And then the controlled hunts actually were down this year. So I have no idea why that was, but maybe guys got their deer already. I guess there's a lot to kind of look at, but the counties remained the same. What was Coshocton was first, I think, and then there was like a flip flop. The top 5 I think was even the same. The only thing different was Richland swapped out Trumbull in the last spot. And then, so I guess there's no surprises there. Same counties. I found a stat that was, I thought, interesting. Hunter success rate. So this is percentage of permits, of permit buyers. So percentage of people that bought a permit that reported they got at least a deer. 46% of people that got a permit got a deer. It's almost half. If you bought a permit, it was the highest ever.
Wow.
The all-time high. Which that could be a whole other conversation in its own, right? I mean, hunting's easier with trail cameras and bait and weapons. crossbows, guns. I mean, it
Absolutely.
makes it easier for us, you know? So, I mean, I could see success. Everyone always says, oh, less hunters, but we're more successful hunters.
Yeah. Well, you throw
46, I
in
thought that was pretty crazy. All like almost half the people.
that is. I would have never guessed that. That
No.
and then you throw in like this year with acorns. I know
Yeah.
in northern Ohio seemed like red oaks were crazy. You going down a slope, you'd almost fall over. It's like walking on marbles. Southern Ohio, at least where I saw, was average. It had its
Mhm.
good things, but with Ohio being a baiting state, that's definitely a game changer. You get a great hard mast year, where a crop of acorns is great. You'll be wondering if your cameras are broke or not, if they're overbait.
Yeah. Yeah. We had some of that going on. But no, nice job to the hunters, man. 46%. That's sweet. Out of state hunter numbers, very similar. They were more this year. Like I think we were talking earlier that I think about anywhere between 500 and 1,000 more this year than last year. Same exact states, which are Pennsylvania the most, Michigan second, West Virginia. All makes sense. Those are all bordering, right? North Carolina, then New York. Indiana, for some reason, doesn't come over as much, it seems. But I guess their hunting's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, the crossbow, rifle, shotgun thing was all almost identical. Actually, everyone thought like crossbows are getting more popular. There was actually less a percentage of the harvest killed through crossbow, but only by like 2%. I think 33% were crossbow, 35 last year. The big thing again was the straight walled cartridge rifle. I think that was like almost 5% increase. But probably that gun season was good. So everyone was, and the second gun season
Yeah.
was good. That's where I killed my deer, right? Yeah. That
Yep.
was cold. Um, Shotgun, regular bow, muzzleloader, and handgun were all like almost identical. So the only thing that had went up significant was the rifle. And then like I saw it online. A lot of people thought like when you look at the breakdown of does, bucks, button bucks, it's like 21,000 button bucks, which I was like, that does seem high, but I guess not because it's very consistent year to year when I was looking back comparing a couple of years. Like as far as percentages, it was almost 10%, which that's gonna. I mean, how many kids or people that just shoot? You don't know it's a button buck.
No.
People get mad, but I mean, if you're,
Take that button box.
yeah. I mean, what are you
Yeah.
gonna tell
Oh,
your kid that's never shot a deer not to shoot a button buck?
yeah. Hey, man.
How many people are out there for meat? And what's usually the first deer in? Honestly,
Yeah.
button.
Yeah, they do have a special knack for being dumb, seems like.
Yeah, we'll kill those ones. Um. So method of so really nothing changed a ton. Just that gun season was better, probably because of the weather, and overall numbers were just up, which I think probably had a lot to do with the weather again too. Well, but that hunter success thing's interesting. That 46% because hunting is easier. Like everything, we get better at it. Deer aren't getting smarter, and we have way better technology and means of getting them. So that's probably something that could rise.
Well, yeah, I would be curious to see. I don't know if you saw it, what the difference in permit sales was from last year. Because
Like
that
last
number
year's
always seems to
success
be
rate.
going down too.
What's that?
Just the number of hunters out there.
Right.
It seems like hunters are we're losing hunters every year. Then
Yeah.
you throw in a great year like this, whether it was weather, or just sometimes it's just a perfect storm. But yeah, that is crazy high. I would have thought that maybe 1 out of 3 would be great.
Yeah, me too. Or there's people that, people are pickier now with cameras, not shooting things, so they just were willing to eat a tag. But, um, no, so I thought that was pretty cool. So, one thing that I don't know if a lot of people know about or have seen, because the article I saw was just from 3 days ago that we could shed some light on. I was reading about it, is I'll just read right from it. Um, this just in, and this was from about 10 days ago. but I don't know if it's common knowledge. Governor Mike DeWine proposed a governor's operating budget, and the bill will include increases for non-resident hunting and fishing license. Fishing license go up like 20, $30, and then the daily ones. But for as far as hunting, I'll read right from it. He wants to increase the price of non-resident either sex deer permits from 74 to 210 plus a writing fee for non-resident deer hunters. Um, the total cost of the hunting license with the deer permit now will increase from 257 to 399, so $140. What do you think? You think that'll make any change?
I feel like, in my opinion, you got the guys. You don't even have to change the out of state license. I mean, that's, I get it. Everything's going up. That's where we're at right now. But, let the guys that live on the border that hunt in both states, that's fine. Even a doe tag is fine, but change that either sex tag for sure.
That
There's,
was the only one it said that it changed. And it says
yeah,
because even the one part it says um, hunter seeking an antlered deer.
yeah. That's like, oh, in the rest of the country, Ohio is big bucks and walleye, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. And when guys are coming over, you figure a guy that's going to spend, a guy that's going to come over and do everything himself, camp somewhere. Say he's going to spend $1,000, and that's probably pretty cheap. If I had put that in my schedule and had put that money aside, and now it costs me $1,200, I'm still going.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy that's spending 5 grand on an outfitter, $200 isn't stopping him, or whatever it is. A couple hundred
Right.
dollars isn't changing anything when you're talking about that kind of money, and
If
it's only
yeah,
going to help the herd as well. I mean, look at Iowa. It doesn't matter. You can't even get in there unless you get drawn if you're a non-resident. And
right.
I don't say we have to go that crazy, but yeah, quit letting these huge bucks go to other people.
If it passes, it'll take effect just this July 1st.
Wow.
So this will be something interesting to keep an eye on because it'll be real easy next year to see how many people buy permits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such an easy thing. So we have those numbers right here from this year. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like it or not, hunting's getting more and more of a money sport.
Hmm.
So the guys that are willing to travel to other states to shoot a huge buck, like I said, I don't think that's going to change. I think the people you're going to lose are the, guy that lives on the border of PA or something and hunts in both states, or West Virginia. But
Right.
here's what it is. They got to do something, I think.
Um, I'm trying to find it. Which one? What? Where? Hold on. I had it somewhere. How much money it generates? It's something crazy. This was Oh wait. Yeah, this was last year's article, and the one I found they didn't list it, but last year it says hunters generated 1.9 billion in economic spending in Ohio.
Oh,
5% of Ohio adults participate in hunting,
really?
with 91% of those hunters taking part in deer hunting. So that was just kind of a general. So 91% of 90 is, 4.5%. So yeah,
So I need 10 people in the same room as me to have a decent chance to have a real conversation with somebody and not just
right.
pretend I care what they're talking about when they're not talking about hunting.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. A little less than that's cool how they can break these numbers down. Um, yeah, so I mean, a great year for Ohio as far as numbers. Being on the page, I mean, I didn't see anything too different. I felt like with big bucks, tons of them, but there's always tons of them. Um, so right now we have a couple more days of voting the four finalists, which like that finalist, like people are like right to me like, oh, how come this one doesn't get picked? There's probably 20. that could be it. It's just kind of like, okay, these are what I like, and then the picture was good, and like I kind of looked for things like unique too. There was a bunch of huge ones, but like the one I posted is a typical 7x7. How you don't see that, every year.
Right.
And then the one is like an insane over 200-inch typical frame, like probably high 20 beams, and then the other two were just huge. That one the kid got is really, really huge. Just frame, it's got everything.
That
That was,
was is that the big typical that you were talking about that kid got?
yeah, but it's got trash. It's a little more non-typical than the other ones. It's got a ton of trash and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Of those, which ones did you vote, or would you vote?
That's I'm just I like the one A.
Yeah, the kids one.
Yeah,
Thing's got everything.
yeah. I even when we talked about the Mount Rushmore of Ohio deer the one time, those are my favorite bucks. The ones that got just a giant typical frame, and some stickers or some extra stuff going on. I mean, like you said, all four of those, whatever, they're freaks. And you could go on the page and just randomly do a big scroll and stop, and you're probably going to have another one that
Yeah, it could have
you
been
could
on
make
there.
a case to put in there.
I think that Lorain County one is probably going to be the biggest, but I'm not even sure. I like
Wow.
that. I like that typical 7x7 too, because that's just
Yeah.
insane and so massive.
Right.
And then, but the kids is it was public land.
Wow.
99% sure. I'm gonna get him on because I talked to I think the dad, and I would love to hear because I have no idea the situation. I don't know if they like lived on the near the public land and still like had it on property, but or if they were just on complete, they knew about it or not. But that thing's
Right.
huge.
I always, when hear a story like that or see a buck like that, I always hope they didn't know about it because
Yeah,
I imagine how that would be. You wander in, hey, let's check out this piece, and you end up dragging that thing out.
could you
Just
imagine?
because that don't happen anymore.
No, that would be a
It'd be
really
wild.
really cool story.
There was I forget which one it was now, but I remember we were talking. There was a guy uh, shot probably a 200 class, freak, and messaging with him and asked, were you after that one? Did you know it? And he said, I think it showed up like at the beginning of the season or something. That'd be almost as crazy. Checking your camera and you got a buck like that on there, you had no clue was even there.
Yeah, that would be the best. Those are all huge. You know what else that I noticed this year, maybe it was similar to last couple, but I felt every other or every third post I made was a girl. Girls were
Yeah.
freaking rocking it this year. A ton. Like one point, it was like the three biggest bucks I had to post all in a row.
Wow.
Tons of big ones.
That's
That's
great.
cool. Girls getting the hunting,
Yeah.
weren't getting the huge ones.
Well, too, you started the Ohio Hunt Club this year,
Yeah,
and you had a lot of bucks on there. And the way the trophy bucks is a lot more exclusive. So you would think you're going to go on Ohio Hunt Club and be looking at a bunch of normal bucks, but you're not. It's
no,
140, 150,
dude, they're
160.
huge.
You put almost everything on there, but it's just goes back
I
to
could have
talking
put
about
a
the
lot of
live
those.
bait.
Could have just running out of time and days because we only put like one a day with trophy bucks. There was a lot that could have
Oh
easily
yeah,
been on. They were huge ones.
for sure.
They were huge. I almost like when I'm just kind of scrolling. I almost like scrolling through that one better, looking at all the different deer.
Yeah,
There was tons.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. There's a lot more bigger bucks on there than I expected.
Right. The
That,
one thing I
that
did
went in.
notice this year, and again, it could be just people not sending those ones in, but usually they do. So it could have just been a oddball year. Though it was slower really early, and I think because the acorns.
Yeah,
People. I think that kind of messed up patterning in those early ones, and with bait and stuff, they weren't. But I mean, there were still some huge ones, the big ones, but there wasn't like I feel like usually the first week I will have three of the biggest deer of the year come in,
right.
because somebody's just waiting to kill one. And there was big ones, but it wasn't as
Yeah, there was definitely a good amount, but yeah, and who
yeah,
knows?
not
That
heavy
could.
loaded.
I don't remember the weather exactly, like you said. I in my mind, I want to say there was some pretty warm days early on.
Hmm.
Um, that's all it takes. How many times you got a deer on camera for a week and a half, and 2 days before the season, everything changes, or
Right.
velvet comes off, and it's like a new buck.
Yeah. So big buck still. And it was I mean, EHD did I'm sure kill some other really big ones, so that stinks. That's I'm still. I mean, I know that it's localized, but I think you said it that you realize it when you see the total numbers. Because I thought that it would be down a little bit. I didn't think it'd be
Yeah,
crazy, but I thought, or even with the weather being good, maybe the same. Not like the big jump. I mean, what you said the fourth best season ever, real
yeah.
close to the third
Well, I talked to a guy that would have been kind of East Central Ohio. They didn't even hunt their farm because they
because it
they
was the
found
EHD
so
hit so
many
bad.
deer on there from EHD. And I think he said he had some bucks show up on camera that were borderline, but he had already kind of made the decision. I'm sure if something giant showed up, they would have changed their mind. But yeah, I don't even think they hunted there. I don't know if they even killed a deer off of it.
Yeah, or some big. Actually, that just made me think. I'm gonna do a post and ask see if people get some people to post the big ones they found EHD. Be cool to see some
Yeah,
of the monsters that were out there.
yeah,
Hopefully that's gone because our farm it we got I don't know, it's like out of sight out of mind. You hear it and you're like, oh, that stinks, but we don't really care. This year, us specifically, we had an awesome year next year. I just did a thing where I kind of looked at it. I can probably think 8 to 10 bucks that were no like bucks that were recognizable bucks
yeah.
gone. Next year would have been you for certain spots a really good year, and now it's but well that happens.
Yeah.
Um, So, want to thank everybody. It was a great year for following engagement. I would just look it up on our insights on social media and on Facebook. On Facebook alone, we had 21.1 million views. Nice job, everybody.
Crazy.
Thank you. 21.1 million on Facebook. And then 3 million, almost 3 million. They don't go back. I didn't like follow it, so I couldn't go back all the way. But it probably would have been around 3 million on Instagram too. So pushing 25 million views of those deer. So that's cool. People are that engaged.
It's awesome.
The only problem with that is so many people see it, and I'm guilty of it, and we all are. When you just see like these big bucks day after day, everyone's just like, dude, you just think they're everywhere, and they're still not.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the big picture is still, how many people hunt. I just looked. There was like 400,000 hunters, 500,000 hunters this year, and I mean, there's probably 100 monster. Like it's still, but social media can make it seem like, oh man, there's one at every turn, but no, but that's cool. So over 20 million people were viewing in. So thanks everyone. We'll keep that going. Um, Coming up, I don't know you think you're gonna get down to the Deer and Turkey Expo at all?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Two
It's hard
weeks.
to baseball season starting.
Oh yeah. I'll be down there, so I'll see everybody down there because I'm gonna be doing some fun interviews and stuff, and I'm gonna plan on being down there all day Saturday, visiting a couple booths, talking to people. I know Buckeye Big Buck Club will be down there scoring deer, hang out with them a little bit, see some of the deer coming in, and checking out some of the new products. So I'm excited for that. That's always just fun to be down there. And then April 6th is a Sunday. If anyone wants to get their deer scored, Buckeye Big Buck Club and the Finn are the Finn does it every year. I guess has a scoring day, so you can just bring it up there, and they have scores there in the basement, and you can get deer scored there. So I think I'm going to be down at that.
It's neat
And
when a buck comes in getting scored for something like that, and you recognize it.
yeah,
You know, when somebody sent in
yeah,
or something like that, it's pretty cool.
yeah. But yeah, it was an awesome season. We plan on doing some kind of podcast or video. We got some actually fun little things planned, silly stuff that I plan on getting on here every month or so throughout the off season because it just gets kind of quiet, bunch of surveys and stuff. So look at that, and then yeah, off season starts now. Turkey season will be up, and we will be checking back in.
Oh, I cannot wait for turkey season.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Love the weather.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
gonna be a good year.
Everybody stay safe, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Peace.
Adios.